Dr. John Madden at the east end of Alameda Park. These are the cable cars that start up at the top of Cerro del Borrego, the mountain behind me at the very west end of the downtown, and land behind the Palace of Governors, right downtown in a very protected, fabulous spot where the Paseo del Rio, the Riverwalk, begins also. Now, one of my principles of happy living is to adjust your life. Sometimes you need to change, you need to move. I need to move where my car is parked, etc. But the complement to that is stay put. See the Spanish moss here? It's so gorgeous. Yeah, sometimes you need to stay put, and that's the better thing to do. I've been here for a little over a month, or Zaba, since the 5th of March, and I was on the outskirts for a few days in Rio Blanco, and I've been downtown here in the Centro for 3 weeks since then. One thing you get from staying put for a little longer is you get to learn the rhythms of the place. Orizaba has one very particular rhythm, which is it fills up on the weekends and gets very exciting and very stimulating. This park loaded with life on Saturdays and Sundays. Yesterday, where you see the white building over there, that's the Avenida Colón, something, Colón, C-O-L-O-N. That's the main drag through town, and it goes by the beautiful Palacio de Gobierno, Palace of Governors, and all the way down to where Castillo Park is an incredible center of life also, and sits right next to the cathedral, which is one of the most beautiful churches in Mexico. So yesterday, as I was walking down that way, there were tour buses parked right by the gate of the park over there, and hundreds of people poured off of tour buses and out of hotels to in front of the Palace of Governors. At noon, there was a traditional Mexican dance festival with hundreds of dancers in traditional garb. I got several videos of that. I haven't even had a chance to check them yet to make sure they came out, because I hope they did, because it was stunning. All these people taking so much joy in the traditional dances, some of which looked a lot like clogging. I want to send one of those to my friend Margaret Averett back in Appalachia. She actually lives more down in Columbia, South Carolina now. But I knew her from Asheville, North Carolina, where clogging, Appalachian style, is a big deal. A lot of this looked like clogging. It was so stunning. But today it's really, really quiet. Really, really quiet. The cable cars going overhead is kind of the most action. So it's great. It's really soothing. It's got my brain really quiet and me feeling really peaceful. So I like to say that there's no one rule. Don't rely on rules. They're not helpful. Always do this, or thou shalt do that. I think the 10 Commandments, suck as a way to live your life. No. It's always dialectics. It's always sometimes you do this and sometimes you do that, which is the opposite. And what makes it a real challenge is you have to listen to the voice for God. Here comes the cable car then. You have to listen to your inner pilot, or whatever you call it, your own intuitive wisdom as to what to do when. There's no one of those 10 commandments that are absolute. I call myself a bodhisattva because I've taken the bodhisattva pledge to not rest until all beings are at peace. And guess what? A few months ago I killed a dog, intentionally, methodically. Killer dog who was killing the dogs, attempting to kill the dogs in our little pueblo where I was staying. Little fish filleting knife. I thought it had broken off between his shoulder blades. I thought it didn't get him, but it did. It killed him. That shook me up. I love dogs. I adore dogs. And I killed the dog because it was the right thing to do. I had an affair with a married woman a long time ago, and it was the right thing to do. Her husband was too busy to give her the love and attention she needed. I loved both of them, and I called myself his anonymous assistant. And it worked. It worked all the way around. She was happy, I was happy. She didn't have to beat him around the head and shoulders because he was in grad school at the same time he had a very busy job. That'll shock some people. Well, I'm in the business of shocking people. Shock you out of your comfort zone. No, it's not that easy. Commandments are not a good way to run a life. It's listening to the voice for God. And it was the voice for God that told me to kill that dog. And I wasn't much in touch with the voice for God in my early 30s when I had that affair. But that was absolutely God coaching, because we adored each other. It was almost inevitable. It had to happen. And it was sweet. It was wonderful.